Time now for a check of weather with Matt Yurosavik. Matt, many of our viewers are ready to say goodbye to winter, but it seems winter isn't ready to say goodbye. That moisture, though, really still missing from dry parts of the west and the plains, Matt.
Yeah, Tyne, that's right. Chilly air and a lack of moisture there in the west. It's always been the case really over the past couple of months, but you can really see that again on our drought monitor. It's still abnormally dry in some parts of the east, which have seen rain over the past few days, but back in the west, even parts of Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, still seeing extreme to exceptional drought conditions, and we've even got a little bit of red there in the southern part of Louisiana. And if you look back towards the northern plains, Montana seeing some of that, as well as the Cascades and even the San Joaquin Valley there in California. So lots of drought conditions there in the west. And if we take a look at our root zone, it is much of the same. Very dry out in the west, even through the Dakotas, down into parts of Nebraska, even some central parts of Iowa starting to show up a little on the yellow side, and Texas obviously in some of those drier colors. Meanwhile, still a lot of moisture through especially parts of Michigan, Wisconsin, right on down through the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys into parts of Tennessee. And the East Coast also pretty dry as well. So something we'll continue to watch as we head into planting season. Now, heading through Monday, things are pretty calm, but by the second half of the week, things become more active. We have kind of this big dip in the jet stream there right through the middle of the country. That could bring in some cooler air on the north side, but also create some chances for some rain all the way through from west to east across the country. As you can see, that big dip in the jet stream moving eastward by Friday. Turning in, though, to a nice big ridge in the west. That's going to keep things drier for the second half of the week out there in the west, but also bring in the warmth as well. So here's what it looks like on Monday. Again, not a ton going on, but a little bit of light rain moving through the center of the country. Maybe a few thunderstorms getting moving by the second half of the day there in the central plains, Oklahoma, Texas. And then we've got a system out there in the west beginning to move onshore. That is going to bring more rain with it as we head through the second half of the week. So heading toward Wednesday, these systems move eastward. It starts to dry out in the west to bring back those mild temperatures and some of that sunshine. But out ahead of this, we've got more rain and even a few thunderstorms there all the way from the Dakotas through the Great Lakes into the mid-Atlantic states and even down towards the southeast and in parts of Florida. Could see a few of those thunderstorms by Wednesday as well. That storm system gets on out of here, brings in some chillier air behind it, and then high pressure takes over and it will turn warm, especially back in the southwest and the Four Corners region, with a few more showers in the Pacific Northwest. So temperatures this week above normal there in the east and back in the west, especially in the second half of the week, but below normal where we're going to see a lot of that rain this week, Pacific Northwest and Mississippi River Valley. And then precipitation this week in the east. Again, we're going to see a lot of that, but remain below normal there in the west. And temps in April looking above normal for much of the country and very dry, especially back there in the west. Tyne, back to you.
Well, the acreage report from USDA is out. So now what? Are we focused on weather? Bill Biederman, Arlen Suderman, and Bob Utterback will break down the numbers and talk about where we go from here next.
U.S. Farm Report is brought to you by Germinator Closing Wheels. Germinator, it's not just any closing wheel. Reach your yield potential. Pre-order by April 30th with coupon code USFR for 2